In April of the year 2025, Abdul Ghani Baradar, the Taliban's deputy prime minister for economic affairs, stood before journalists at the presidential palace in Kabul and offered a rare public statement. "Afghanistan is secure," he said, "and we are ready for diplomatic and economic cooperation with the outside world." It was a message crafted not only for regional neighbors, but for a skeptical international community that continues to debate whether and how to engage with Afghanistan's current leadership. Once defined by war, Afghanistan now presents a strikingly different image. After the withdrawal of foreign troops and the Taliban's return to power in August of the year 2021, sweeping domestic policy shifts have changed the country's direction, most notably in the area of drug control. For decades, Afghanistan was the world's leading producer of opium, with sprawling poppy fields in provinces like Helmand and Nangarhar supplying much of the global market. But that has changed dramatically. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the area used for poppy cultivation in Afghanistan shrank from 200,000 hectares in the year 2021 to just 10,000 hectares in 2025, a reduction of over 90% in only 4 years. The Taliban's campaign against narcotics, though severe, has yielded one of the most rapid declines in drug production in recent history. This shift did not occur organically. In April of the year 2022, the Taliban issued a nationwide ban on poppy farming. The order was followed by a campaign of aggressive enforcement. In some areas, Taliban fighters, armed and resolute, accompanied farmers into the fields to cut down poppies by hand. In others, large swaths of farmland were razed under official supervision. The message was unequivocal. Those who continue to grow narcotics face serious consequences, including imprisonment or worse. Observers from international organizations have acknowledged the campaign's effectiveness, even as they express concern about its human costs. Afghanistan's once active opium processing facilities have gone quiet. In many parts of the country, wheat has replaced poppy as the dominant crop. This visual transformation is often cited by Taliban officials as proof that their government can deliver tangible outcomes. However, this anti-drug effort has created a difficult dilemma for Afghan farmers. The economics of agriculture in Afghanistan are unforgiving. In the past, growing poppies could yield as much as $1,000 per year for smallholder farmers, a substantial sum in a country where per capita income remains among the lowest in the world. Today, those same farmers growing wheat earn roughly $500 annually, a steep decline that has pushed many deeper into poverty. Farmer Ahmed, who lives in the southern province of Kandahar, shared his concerns. "Without poppies, our income has been cut in half. We support our families with what we grow, and wheat doesn't pay enough." His story is not unique. Across rural Afghanistan, the sudden disappearance of the poppy economy has left many struggling to adapt. International aid continues to arrive, but distribution challenges and limited infrastructure often prevent it from reaching those who need it most. The Taliban's campaign also targets drug users. Thousands of Afghans suffering from substance addiction have been detained and placed into state-run rehabilitation centers. These facilities operate under strict rules. Former users often report harsh conditions, but some also acknowledge positive outcomes. Muhammad, who spent 6 months in one such center, recalls, "At first I thought they would kill me, but I was treated and released. Now I work and stay clean. It saved my life." While the methods are controversial, there is no denying the scale of the transformation. Many international experts agree that the Taliban's enforcement has succeeded where previous efforts failed. But the human cost, in lost income, disrupted communities, and coercive enforcement, continues to spark debate. Alongside its anti-narcotics policy, the Taliban has placed heavy emphasis on national security. 4 years ago, Afghanistan was among the most dangerous countries in the world, plagued by regular terrorist attacks, criminal violence, and widespread instability. In the year 2021, the United Nations recorded more than 1,000 terrorist incidents across the country. By the year 2025, that number had fallen to just 100, a reduction of 90%. Major cities, particularly the capital Kabul, have seen noticeable changes. The sounds of gunfire that once marked the night have given way to a new normal. Street vendors now operate well into the evening, and residents report a greater sense of public safety. Fatima, a fruit seller in Kabul, shared, "A few years ago I would never stay out after dark. Now I can sell until midnight. Life is still hard, but at least we can breathe." Taliban officials attribute the improved security to their uncompromising approach toward extremist groups. Organizations such as the Islamic State have been aggressively targeted. In one notable operation in the province of Baghlan in the year 2024, Taliban forces reportedly killed a key Islamic State commander and dismantled his network. Other members were summarily executed, a tactic that has drawn sharp criticism from human rights groups but has proven effective in reducing attacks. These operations, paired with a heavy security presence in urban centers, have contributed to a broader sense of calm. For many Afghans, especially those who lived through years of chaos, the return of basic order is a welcome, if fragile, relief. But peace has not reached everyone equally. One of the most contentious areas of Taliban policy concerns the rights of women and girls. After initially signaling a more moderate stance, the Taliban began imposing restrictions in the second half of the year 2022. Women were banned from pursuing education beyond the secondary level, and employment opportunities for women outside the home were sharply reduced. In public spaces, women have become increasingly invisible. These policies have sparked both domestic protest and international outrage. In October of the year 2022, a group of women demonstrated near Kabul University, demanding access to education. The protest was broken up by security forces and several women were arrested. In the months that followed, reports of public punishments for women violating dress codes or traveling alone became more common. While these measures have drawn global condemnation within Afghanistan, cultural factors complicate the picture. Afghanistan is a predominantly rural country, and in many areas conservative views about gender roles have deep roots. The female literacy rate in rural regions remains around 10%. For many families, especially in villages, educating daughters is considered unnecessary. The Taliban draws much of its political support from these communities. Rural men, often deeply conservative and religious, form the backbone of the regime's support base. By enacting policies that align with their values, the Taliban strengthens its legitimacy and retains control over vast rural territories. In this political calculus, restrictions on women become less about ideology and more about regime stability. Supporters argue that the Taliban is preserving Afghan traditions. Critics counter that the policies sacrifice the rights and future of half the population. Either way, the result is a society increasingly divided along gender lines, with opportunities for women rapidly disappearing. Afghanistan today stands at a crossroads. On one hand, the country has achieved a remarkable decline in narcotics production, improved internal security, and begun outreach to foreign governments. On the other, deep economic hardship, the marginalization of women, and the absence of civil liberties raise serious concerns about the sustainability of these changes. The Taliban's model of governance prioritizes order over openness, enforcement over participation, and conformity over dissent. Whether that model can produce long-term stability or economic prosperity remains to be seen. For now, Afghanistan is reaching out to the world, asking to be seen not only for its past but for its present. It offers a new narrative, one of recovery, discipline, and control. But beneath that surface lies a more complicated reality, one in which the costs of progress are borne unevenly and the future remains uncertain. In a country where peace has long been elusive, even imperfect stability feels like a milestone. But the path ahead is filled with difficult choices, and a nation still healing from decades of conflict must decide what kind of future it truly wants.